I'm going to address this once, and hopefully it's the last time I have to do it. I have a feeling it won't be, because it seems like this is the new chapter that we're in with the Nets, because there's always going to be something. It doesn't matter who's on the team. There's going to be something that needs to be critiqued. That something is the fact that you started the wrong Cam. I understand Cam Johnson is lovely and he will occasionally hit a 3 or 2, but Cam Thomas not starting is absolutely insane. That is, we got new toys and you want to be excited to get them all out there. But if you have Finney Smith at 4, you know, you got Claxton at 5, Bridges is at 3. Do we really need Johnson out there? Like, Cam Thomas is, I don't know what more he has to do to prove that he is that guy, that he is that star, that he is that dude. I don't know what more he has to do. And for some reason, we just see him as the spark plug off the bench. When you looked at the end of tonight's game, didn't they look like they needed a bucket? Like, the dunk from Dinwiddie was great, but then after that, couldn't nobody score. That's because you have a bunch of role players out there. And that's no shot at Bridges and stuff. Like, he hit some big shots. That's great. But we have lost the plot significantly if you think we're building around Bridges. We are building around Cam Thomas and Claxton. And I'm going to let this one go because it's just one game. It's just one game. So I won't go nuclear, but I just feel like we're going into another situation where we have to, like, cape for Cam Thomas when it's like, how do we forget what he does that fast? Did you see him cooking Joel Embiid? Like, what more? His first game in the preseason in the NBA last year, he was taking Anthony Davis off the dribble and shooting over him. What more does he have to do? He is a bucket. He's that guy. He's that dude. He should not only be starting, but he should be a part of the closing lineups. Did you see them struggle to score? The defense was great, don't get me wrong, but did you see them struggle to score? That's because you don't have the ISO god himself, Cam Thomas, out there. He would have figured something out, and the late games heroics from Spencer Dinwiddie was amazing. I thought he shot it in time. I didn't know his fingers were still on the ball. That's crazy. That's tragic. That's heartbreaking. Cool, Betty Bet. But listen, Cam Thomas should be out there a whole heck of a lot more than he was tonight. I hope this was a learning experience where we understand what needs to happen. We don't have to do this. What the Nets are trying to do right now, we don't have to do that. The team is ready right now. And I'm not saying for a championship. I'm just saying the pieces are right there. You just got to let them gel and mesh. And in like 2 years, y'all better be ready. But don't let the new shiny toys get you confused. Don't let the shiny toys distract you from the fact that Cam Thomas is that guy. 40 points, 3 games in a row. I just need us to be on track and on board with what we're doing here. Don't do him like that. Because if he gets pissed off because he's not playing and leaves in free agency or something like that, you don't want that. But I'm gonna give Jacques Vaughn and them a pass because it was the first game and you had to see what everyone was capable of. But I'm gonna tell you this. Once a role player, always a role player. And when you have instances where you're used to just swinging the ball to Devin Booker or Chris Paul and watching on the side, you tend to revert back to that. Thank God Spencer Dinwiddie decided to wake up and actually attempt a shot. How did everyone do? Oh, welcome back to Nets Republic. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Cool. What everyone did do I thought Bridges played very well in the beginning of the game. I don't know where he was in the fourth. I don't know where he was towards the end of the game. But in the beginning, he was playing very well, played great defense. That's amazing. That's awesome. Shout out to him. I thought Cam Johnson shot the ball well in the beginning of the game. Again, he fell off the face of a cliff in the second half of the game and was utterly useless towards the end, but I thought in the beginning he played very well. I thought Dinwiddie, although, again, statistically, if you're looking at the numbers, it might look like he had a bad game, but I thought he played very well. I thought everyone played well defensively. There were moments in the game where it looked like we were world beaters, and I think that's something we can build off of. It's just things went left the later in the game we got. When Joel Embiid started leaning more, into scoring, pun intended, when Harden really started getting in his bag, like, you could tell that everyone out there was a little shook. I mean, Claxton wasn't. And that's something else I wasn't particularly a fan of. We got to keep Claxton involved in the offense. We've got to make sure that we're still looking for him on alley-oops and drop-offs and all that type of stuff and the pick and rolls. Let's not forget that. There was a severe lack of Claxton action, which again, once they get used to each other, that'll clean itself up a little bit more. But let's not forget about him. He's that dude as well. Give him the ball. Let him create a little bit if he's like 10 feet from the basket or something like that. Like, let's not forget that. My main concern, and it's hard to focus on the positive because the ending of the game was so unnecessary, but they all did play very well. Joe Harris is unconscious. You could debate maybe he should, well, no, but he's still playing great. Very well, shooting unconscious from the field. Shout out to Joe Harris. He's still playing great. Patty Mills should never sniff the court again. I think his days are done as far as being on this team. He was there to be Ben Simmons' emotional support animal. Ben Simmons, I thought, played well. I thought he played well, doing the backup center role, passing the ball, playing defense. There were times where it was him and Joel Embiid, and he played very well. Thankfully, their beef is over, so we didn't see any weird, awkward, cringy back and forth between the two, but he is a glorified role player now, so I guess it really wouldn't even make any sense to do so. But I thought Ben Simmons played well. He was aggressive for him, and for the amount of minutes he played, attempting however many shots he did, I thought it was enough. I mean, he could obviously be doing more, but for what his role is now, I'm not particularly upset with anything that he's doing. It's disgusting that he's on a max contract and he's playing like this, but with the role we have him in currently, it is what it is. Ben Simmons doesn't seem to care, so it is what it is. Who else played? Royce O'Neal played well. It's interesting to see him transition, and now he's coming off the bench. Again, I think it's great that we are looking at all the new pieces we got, and we're kind of giving them the nod and respecting them out the gate. But we've got a bunch of dudes on this team that have kind of earned their spot, and you're just rewarding new dudes these minutes where it's like, I don't quite understand it. Again, with what Royce O'Neal has been showing us, I'm not sure what Finney-Smith is doing that Royce O'Neal does not do. Now, it's only been 2 games, so maybe he's really putting the lockdown on some folks and I'm just not paying attention. And he is, but again, Royce O'Neal has kind of earned his spot, and you just gave it to Finney, and it's like, well, that's a little awkward. You already know how I feel about Cam Thomas, so we're not going to go over that again. It's just Sumner being completely out of the lineup is weird too. Like, I understand we've got an influx of individuals who can handle the ball, but Sumner plays really well and earned a lot of his spots, and we just said, oh, here's new people that played on good teams. We don't need you anymore. That's just a little odd to me. Again, we're going to have time to reevaluate things. We're going to have time to see where we sit with certain instances. Again, like we talked about last video, this game was more of a measuring stick just to kind of get a gauge of where we are. This is everyone's first game. Maybe some people still have the jitters. Maybe we need to sit down and have that conversation with Bridges and say, look, if he is that guy, quote unquote, that we are dubbing him as, you got to be more aggressive. Like, I don't know what needs to be done, but it's the first game, so I won't kill them. The only thing that I'm specifically just not happy with is I don't like the fact that Cam Thomas is not involved, not only in starting play, but in crunch time. When we desperately needed a bucket, and you got Cam on the sideline with his warm-ups up. Like, Buddy wasn't even on the treadmill getting ready to hop back in. He had the zip up all the way type stuff. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Because Cam Thomas is such a nuclear weapon, I don't see how you look at Bridges or Cam Johnson and say we don't need Thomas. Like, that's just, I'm not on board for that. But it's the first game where they're all out there and we were playing the Sixers. So I'm not going to hit the panic button. I just want to make it clear where I stand. Cam Thomas should be starting. Cam Thomas is who we're building around, him and Claxton. I think it's great that we've gotten support for those two, but let's not forget who everyone's role is. Mr. Bridges, you are a support character. You may have the green light, but this is the Cam Thomas Claxton show. You're here for support, bro. You're here for support. But again, it's the first game. Maybe Malik will come back against the Knicks on Monday and be a flamethrower, and he'll be doing the, whatever this is thing, and it'll be like, oh, yeah. So I don't know. But I just don't want us to forget the meaning behind blow it up. I don't want us to fall into this trap of thinking that we've replaced Kyrie and Kevin Durant with two other stars that are just a diamond in the rough. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And we already have two dudes right now. But that's neither here nor there. I'm a little burned out. I'm not gonna lie. I've done a lot of Nets videos this week, and I gotta make a Dream video too. So I'm just a little exhausted of basketball at the moment. So I'm gonna cut this video short just to recharge a little bit. The All-Star break is coming at a wonderful time. I'm a little basketballed out right now, if you will. Let's see who our next game is against. I believe it's the Knicks, but let's take a look see and see who it is. And of course, I will see you then. Next game is, the Knicks. That's on Monday. Thank God it is not on national TV. We don't have to share. It's just on Yes. So that's going to be great. Is it at home? No, it's at MSG. Well, that might be a little trash. But they're kind of getting close to us in the standings. I don't know how I feel about that. But I'll see you on Monday for that. I expect a win. Ben Simmons is not lost to the Knicks. I would like to think his pride will kick in and he won't want that to be the case. And I think nothing would be funnier than us being in what is being coined a rebuild and we still beat them anyway. So I hope we win. I hope we win because I want to get my stuff off, but that's neither here nor there. I'll see y'all on Monday. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna go recharge because I'm basketballed out. So I'll see y'all later.